J-Rod, and I'm here to talk about my favorite club, FC Barcelona, Football Club Barcelona. Let's get ready. So, guys, as you know, throughout this coronavirus, COVID-19, all clubs and all football has been suspended, but the rumors have not. And there are many rumors out there about players that Barcelona might bring in this next coming season, and I want to discuss some of it. So, looking into Marca, Mundo Deportivo, and Sport Español, they got a couple players here that Barcelona is looking at bringing in. The big one that everybody's heard of is Lautaro Martinez right now. Lautaro Martinez. Now, Lautaro Martinez is a forward that plays for Inter, and he is actually pretty dang good. I mean, I like him. Watching him playing for Argentina, he is a predator. Reminds me a lot of a young Suarez, honestly. That's my opinion, though. So don't take it down. You got to watch him, see what he is. He's got a lot to learn. He's only 22 years of age. This is the problem we're having. Inter, there was a report that said Inter's taking a bite at Barcelona, and they said that we'll give you Lautaro if you give us Antoine Griezmann. I don't know what you want to say about that, but I do not feel like Antoine Griezmann deserves that type of treatment. I think Antoine Griezmann did a great job with the amount of time he played for Barcelona. It takes a while for anybody to adapt to the Blaugrana style. If we look at Neymar, it took Neymar a year to get adapted to the way of play that Barcelona plays with. And also, you got to take into account that we replaced our coach midway season. So that's another thing that we're taking away from Antoine Griezmann. Personally, I'm a big no when it comes to trading Griezmann for Lautaro. I think we could bring Lautaro in other ways. We got players we could trade in for him, but Griezmann, I don't think so. I think we should keep Griezmann. I think that's a good choice. Okay. If we actually see some of the stats here, Lautaro Martinez, he's worth 70 million according to Transfer Market. I read somewhere that he was worth 64 million. So around that area, that's what he's worth. Okay. This past season here, he's played 22 games, scored 12 goals and 3 assists. And, I personally think there's a little too much money for them to say that they want Griezmann. Even though Griezmann did not do as good as he did, Griezmann is worth a lot more money. We all agree on that. 26 games, 8 goals and 4 assists. But Griezmann is worth $105 million. That's not a fair trade. That's $40 million difference. Honestly, $40 million difference from 64 million to 105 million, or 70 million to 105. That's $35 million to $40 million difference, depending on what you're looking at. I do not think that's a legitimate trade. I don't think Barcelona should consider it, and I don't think they are. So we could move on from that one, okay? Now, we all know very well that Barcelona is looking for a forward. There are talks out there. And one of the articles that came up just of last night on Sport Español, Mundo Deportivo, and even in Marca was Harry Kane. They said Harry Kane should leave Tottenham Hotspur and should go to either Barcelona or Real Madrid. Now, I personally would love to understand what, let's see, Harry Kane's contract is until 2024. So I think Harry Kane is way too much money. He's worth 132 million. He is an elite attacker, no doubt about it. But if you see his stats from the last season in the Premier League, 20 games, 11 goals, 2 assists. Lautaro did a better job than him. So I personally think let's eat for Lautaro. We got to get Lautaro. And Lautaro is young. He's a young cat. He's a very young man too. I'm not saying that Harry Kane is old, because I think Harry Kane is only 26 years old. He's still a young man. But we could get more out of Lautaro. So let's keep trying to aim for Lautaro. That's my opinion. I think we could, if Harry Kane goes to Real Madrid, it will be a terrible thing for us. But then Real Madrid's got to deal with all the other players that they have. So, and chemistry is a big thing to me. And Lautaro has chemistry with Messi in Argentina. And he understands, I think, the Blaugrana's way, and he will understand it a lot easier. Okay. There is also talks about N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante, I got messages on my Barca Life app that said N'Golo Kante might be a thing to bring in. Now, I don't know what we are talking about when it comes to midfielders. I feel like midfielders, we got a ton of them. Like, honestly, we got a ton of them. And I know we want to get rid of a few. I know Rakitic was saying that he's not a sack of potatoes, and it's kind of disrespectful how they're treating him. And in a way, I agree with Rakitic, and I don't. Rakitic is a heck of a player, man. He understands Barcelona. He does a very good job in understanding how to play with Messi on that side of the field. And this past year it's been tough for Rakitic because we brought in two players and a third one to me. But the first two that I'm gonna mention, in my opinion, that's the future right there, and that's Frankie De Jong and Arthur Melo. I think those two guys are unbelievably talented, and they're the future of Barcelona midfield. Busquets is getting old, but he's still an amazing player. He controls. He's our captain. He's got this down. Okay. I mean, Busquets, even if he doesn't wear the band, that man controls the midfield. But in a year or two, we're gonna have to replace him, and I think that's where Frankie De Jong comes in. But Frankie De Jong is adapting to so many different roles that he's playing right now, as well as for Arthur Melo. I think Arthur Melo is gonna be a legitimate Barca midfielder here in the next coming years. And my other thing is this: is Arturo Vidal is an amazing player, but we could replace him. As much as we want to say Arturo is a warrior, he's everything. We need a player like him. I agree. But we also got to look in the fact that we also have some great midfielders out there that we could bring in. We got a third midfielder that we could bring in now. If we want to bring in N'Golo Kante from Chelsea and you want to replace maybe give them Rakitic and Arturo Vidal and a couple of these other guys, I'm down with that. But what about my La Masia people? I want to see Ricky Puig, or how I call him, Ricky Puig. Okay, I want to see him play. I want to see him given chances because he deserves it. Ricky Puig is an amazing young talent. So these are the big talents conversations we got going on. And then, of course, they talked about Alexander Isaacs from Real Sociedad as a plan B in case we don't get Lautaro. Quite frankly, I think that's crazy. If we don't get Lautaro this year, do not go for Alexander Isak. I say let's go try get Neymar. Now, getting Neymar on Lautaro is going to be a very difficult thing because this summer Neymar's release clause is going to be, I think, 170 million. It won't be 220 anymore. And Lautaro's release clause, I'm almost sure, is 111 million. That's 281 million, guys. And putting Coutinho and Vidal and Rakitic and maybe a couple other youngsters out there, I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to bring both of those guys in. Is it possible? Maybe, I don't know, but possibility is out there. There is a chance that we bring them in. It'll be amazing to see them both in. Suarez is gonna give us maybe one more year of his contract, 2021, and maybe that's it. So let me know what you think. Who you think we should actually bring in? I think Lautaro should be priority number one. Kante could be a good choice to bring in if you want to get rid of Rakitic and Vidal, and then you have Busquets, De Jong, Arthur, and N'Golo Kante and Ricky Puig. I mean, those five right there, to me, that's essential. So defensive wise, I think we got to bring back Tobido, Langley, and Umtiti. If we could sell Umtiti, that's fine. I like Umtiti. I think Umtiti is a great defender. He's a wall. Unfortunately, he got injured, and he's been kind of out of it. But if we replace Umtiti, we got to replace it with a heck of a good defensive center back because Piqué is getting old, and Semedo is another one that might leave. We might be able to use Semedo to bring in a Neymar in because I actually trust Sergio Roberto in the right back position. So I like Semedo, but if he wants to freeze his salary, because that was another one of those, and wants to leave, hey, go ahead, man. Do your thing. Anyways, this is Coach Jared from the USA, man. Straight here bringing you the news, talking about it. Comment below if you believe that we should actually, who should be our priority? Neymar, Lautaro, Harry Kane, and N'Golo Kante, or maybe all of the above. And let me know what you think, how we're going to do it. And I'll see you next time on my next video. Boom. Out. Barcelona.